This video will explain the relationship between pandeism and morality. One of the most common misconceptions about pandeism is that a system which does not have an active God imposing behavioral norms is therefore bereft of any regulation of behavior. Okay. Let's get this straight. The moral basis of pandeism is inherent in the pandeistic nature of the universe itself. Because the creator of the universe became the universe, and now exists as the universe and shares in all experiences that occur therein, everything that any person does to another, that person does also to their own creator, and ultimately to themselves. There are a few vital consequences of this approach. First, pandeism has no textual scriptural element, such elements universally being the flawed product of human endeavor. There is then no scripture to bind us to mistakes of previous generations, such as human slavery, racial discrimination, burning of witches, and kidnapping of children, to prevent them from being raised in a faith that is believed by the kidnappers to be incorrect. Second, pandeism discounts as illogical and unnecessary the existence of the type of God that would jealously demand acknowledgement and worship from its creations. Religions that uphold such a God must condemn people like Mahatma Gandhi, Albert Einstein, Mother Teresa, or the Dalai Lama, as sinners simply for adhering to the beliefs that comported with the information with which they were provided in life. Third, pandeism conversely rejects the dangerous myth of religious absolution, wherein a person commits acts known to be wrongful, and is then absolved for the wrong committed by merely repenting and seeking forgiveness from their deity, without taking earthly measures to fix the damage done. The purpose of the creation of the pandeistic universe may be extrapolated to a logical end. The Creator became the universe, in order to share in the experiences that occur within it. Therefore, logically it is probable that at some future point, the Creator must return to its native form, in order to process the knowledge thus attained. Each set of individual human experiences and insights, what we would call a mind, can be seen as a unit of the knowledge that the Creator would have acquired. Thus, individual human minds would be preserved within the reconstituted Creator. But, being part of the Creator, these minds would have access to all other minds and experiences, including the experiences that they themselves caused to be had by others. Each person would therefore have experiential awareness of both the pleasure and the suffering that their actions caused to others, in the context of the information available to that other. A person who unknowingly engaged in acts that they could not have foreseen would harm another will be aware that the injury caused was beyond their reasonable capacity to prevent. But a person who knowingly harmed another would experience the suffering of the other in the context of the knowledge of their own knowing act of inflicting that harm. Under this theory, if you strike someone in this life, or cause them to be struck, in the next you would have their experience of being struck, not only the pain, but perhaps the humiliation and anger, along with the knowledge that this infliction of suffering was your choice. If you kill someone, you will experience their suffering of death at your hands, and the experience of all the grief that others felt from your act. But on the other hand, if you give a child a gift, you will experience the child's joy, and so forth. This theory therefore imposes morality, based on the foreknowledge of each person reaping a direct and exactly equal consequence for each of their actions, helpful or harmful. This is truly the golden rule in action. What you do unto others in fact done unto you.